Okay, so I hope your practice went well on day 1. Now let's flip over to day 2. So we've got a pyramid, and we need to look at the volume of that pyramid. They want the volume is 48, so what is the height of x? Our volume for a pyramid, length times width times height, all divided by 3. So what we need to do is create an equation by substituting in. We're going to substitute all of these pieces in, and then we'll be able to figure out what x is. So let's go ahead and substitute in left to right. V is volume. The volume is 48. So 48 equals. The length here is 3x minus 6. We're going to multiply that against the width. The width is down here. The width. It says over here that the shape of a pyramid with a square base. That's your key. So if you've got a square base, you know that this side is 3x minus 6 and the other side is 3x minus 6. That takes care of length and width, and then now we're going to tackle height. Height is just x. And then divide by 3. Alright, let's simplify so we can solve. To simplify, we can see that the variable that I'm working with is being divided by 3. The opposite of dividing by 3 is multiplied by 3. If I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other. And the deal here is the whole reason that I'm going through this is so that these 3's are on top and bottom, and they'll cancel. 48 times 3 on your calculator is 144, and then you're just left with 3x minus 6 times 3x minus 6 times x. Now we can take a look at 3x minus 6 times 3x minus 6. Most of you already know that you can use an array to be able to solve this. 3x times 3x is 9x squared. Now don't forget, you still need to bring down all of this other stuff because that's going to hang out there. So 144 is 9x squared minus 36x plus 36, and then all of that is multiplied by x. You can solve this part by distributing. So you get 144 is 9x squared minus 36x plus 36x. There we go. You should ask yourself, okay, I got to solve this for x now. The only way to solve this, or maybe one of your quadratics or a cubic or anything, the only way to solve this is if this equation equals what number? It has to equal 0. So 0 equals 9x cubed minus 36x squared plus 36x minus 144. Now this, now that it equals 0, I can take right into my calculator. So you can go and graph it. You're going to type in your 9x cubed okay, so now we can see our 0 come up, and there's our solution. It happens at 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's pull up a table, Control T, just to make sure. We go down to 4, and yes, it's 0 exactly. So we're going to have a 0 here at 4, 0. Our x value is measured in feet. Right there. So this answer should be 4 feet. The pyramid is 4 feet high. That's this x value here. Alright. Well, number 9. Which of the following are factors? A couple of strategies that you can use here. One, a strategy would be to divide these, right? So you could do 6x to the 4th plus 13x cubed minus 45x squared plus 2x plus 24. And you could divide by x plus 4, this factor right here. If it divides through and there's no remainder, then yes, this is going to be a true factor. That's fine, and you can check that off. Another way you can do this, option 1. Option 2, you can take this factor, x plus 4, and make it into a root. To convert a factor to a root, you're going to say x plus 4 equals 0. Subtract 4 from both sides, and you get that x equals negative 4. If you were to substitute in negative 4 into this equation, what should come out, if it's a real root, what number should come out of this? And that's going to be 0. So hopefully you'll see negative 4, 0. Another way that you can do this, which I think is way faster, considering all 100% of your questions on the final exam are calculator based, what I would do is I would take this function, 6x to the 4th Cool. I would take this and I would graph it, and now I pull up a table. Like basically what we just did here, where like you just look at the x values until you find a 0. So that goes really fast with this one. You don't need to save that. Just add a graph real quick. Okay, so add in your graph. Your function is 6x to the 4th. Okay, so your graph comes up, and then you're going to get your zeros. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So let's see here. I see if I pull up a table, Control T, I'm going to see a 0 over here at negative 4. So x equals negative 4 is for sure a 0. X minus 1, if you made that into a root, you would add 1 to both sides, so x equals positive 1. So let's test out. Let's go over to positive 1. We're going to positive 1, and yes, I see that that's a 0 as well right here, so I can say yes on that. And then 2x minus 3 equals 0 is my last factor. When I make it into a root, I can just add 3 to both sides. I get 2x equals 3. I'm just looking for x, not 2x, so I've got to divide by 2. X equals 3 over 2. So 1.5 is not anywhere on here, and there's nowhere for me to like do that, so I have to go to Document, Insert a Calculator. Once you insert your calculator, you're just going to say like whatever you name the graph, which in our case is F1. So F1, when we look at that graph at 3 over 2, what do we get? Well, we get 0. So also, this 2x minus 3 is also a factor. So what that means for us here is that option J should be the one that you should take, because it is all 3 of them. All right.